10 months ago, we sat here watching on our TV, or maybe we were at the stadium, live in person, in the drenching rain, in the dark, under the bright lights of Levi Stadium, watching the San Francisco 49ers take on the Green Bay Packers in the latest installment of their playoff rivalry for just the third time in 5 years. They have those two teams facing each other once again in the divisional playoffs, in this suddenly tightly contested contest, which the 49ers really had to shake off the rust of a first round bye, and they were facing Jordan Love and the red hot Green Bay Packers, fresh off a big upset over the 2-seeded Dallas Cowboys, and they were really taking the 49ers to the limit. And then you had the missed Anders Carlson field goal with less than 5 minutes left to go, and then you had the 49ers offense milking 4 minutes plus to take the lead late in the game, capped off with the Christian McCaffrey field goal, and then they sealed their third straight NFC Championship game appearance with the Jordan Love interception right in the arms of Dre Greenlaw. We were all celebrating. We were all salivating. And for level-headed fans like myself, just waiting for that one win, one game at a time piece, just waiting for the thought of finally, just finally, finishing the story in February. We were taking it one game at a time. But that was the first step. But here we are 10 months later as we get to that Week 12 matchup, the rematch from that divisional game against the Packers, this time around in Lambeau Field, and things feel different. Things feel at least different for my San Francisco 49ers, because when you look at the mood around that team right now, they feel defeated. They feel defeated physically. They feel defeated emotionally. They feel defeated mentally. Like, seriously. They've lost how many games of the last many? They just recently lost another winnable game against the Seattle Seahawks in a rematch of Week 6. Another lead that they blew to another division rival, mind you. Like, all the leads that they blew late in the fourth quarter came to the hands of another division rival. So we'll expand on that a little bit further when we talk about the week that was for both of these teams. But yeah, when you look at the 49ers right now, they're in such a bad state where it's injuries, middling play, inconsistent play, mind you, from both sides of the ball, bad coaching, and inconsistent coaching as well. It's just all over the place with the team that failed to finish the story in February. And then you look at the Packers team, still a relatively young team, and they don't have they're not perfect themselves, but they're playing certainly a lot better football than the 49ers right now. So let's look at the week that was for both of these teams. For my San Francisco 49ers, touching back on that game against the Seattle Seahawks, yeah, they had a fourth quarter lead yet again, yet they blew it. To another division rival that was Seattle. Allowed Geno Smith to run all over them on their last drive, on their last gasp, including, literally, 2 of Seattle's last plays on that last drive was Geno Smith running the ball all over the 49ers defense's butt. Like, there was a lot of open grass in that area that Geno Smith ran on. And that last run was a touchdown with 12 seconds left to spare to score a season-saving upset for Seattle over the 49ers. So when you look at this Niners team, they're 5-5, and they're 1-3 in the division, mind you, in this kind of tight NFC West race, but they're dead last in it. And their division record is not pretty. It is certainly not pretty when you look at it. And even if they somehow manage to salvage this game on the start of a 2-game brutal road trip, I don't know, man. Meanwhile, you look at this Packers team, they're 7-3 right at the moment, but they're certainly playing, like I said, a lot better football than my 49ers right now. But again, not perfect, but they got a pretty good defense right now, albeit a little beat up. They got a good running game with Josh Jacobs going on, a pretty young receiving core with a variety of weapons. Hence, that's why they're the youngest team in the league. And a pretty good quarterback in Jordan Love, although he's been pretty turnover happy all season long, throwing an interception in every single game that they played this season. But when it comes to Week 11 for the Green Bay Packers, they came back from their bye week. They came back from their little vacay, and they were deadlocked with a Chicago Bears team that had been struggling these last couple of weeks. And it was a game that they could have ended sooner had it not been for those red zone issues that Jordan Love has been having, including this game against the Bears. He threw yet another interception in the red zone. He also turned it over on downs in the red zone. So, yeah, he is having some struggles in this game, and so was the rest of the team. But regardless, they still managed to escape with the win, blocking Cairo Santos' buzzer-beating field goal, and just barely, by the skin of their teeth, escaped with the W heading into this game. It's also all-important game for the Packers as they try to keep pace with the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings in a very tight and a very competitive NFC North division race. So, yeah, and a very important game for both of these teams when you look at this matchup here. For the 49ers, very important to pretty much save their season. Like, if you look at between this Seattle game, this Packers game, and I guess the next game against the Buffalo Bills, but we're not going to try to look too ahead at all at that game at the moment. But this game right here is probably the most important game in this stretch because, well, considering that they lost the last game, which they should have had, yeah, this is the game that they really need to have because death's knocked on their door when it comes to this season if you're the 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Packers, you can't afford another loss, especially with the Vikings and the Lions right above you, especially with those Lions who are habanero hot right now with how they're playing. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, with certainly death on this, with knocking on your door for the season for your 49ers. Yeah, the news that you didn't want to hear for 49ers fans, including myself, Brock Purdy. Injuries. Yeah, he landed on the injury report with right shoulder soreness to begin this week. He barely practiced at all this week with that right shoulder soreness. Threw for 5 minutes. Yeah, not the news exactly you want to hear. He had to go ask for trainers to massage it and get all that treatment. But yeah, Brock Purdy can't go. We're gonna get a dose of Brandon Allen, really? Like, I'd rather get Josh Dobbs, yeah, the Pastronaut, than Brandon Allen. Like, I've seen enough of Brandon Allen in the preseason to know that yeah, we're sunk if we have to go with him. But then again, maybe now get the smashing I alluded to at the end of the last recap video. But anyway, some other injuries to take note of. Nick Bosa, he may not play in this game after hurting his other hip in the last game against Seattle. That's why we didn't see him at all in the fourth quarter. So this is not the same hip that he injured in the Tampa Bay game and in the lead up to that. Trent Williams, the offensive line, he's in danger of missing Sunday's game with that ankle injury. So if he can't play, the offensive line is also fucked, whoever's at quarterback. But if you want some positive injury news for the 49ers, Charvarius Ward, the corner, is expected to be back for this game after taking some time away. The Niners allowing him to take some time away due to the passing of his 1-year-old, and deservedly so and rightfully so. So he's back with the team after mourning the passing of his kid. So he should be ready to go, both physically and emotionally. George Kittle expected to return for this game, as he said himself to reporters, after missing the last game against Seattle with the hamstring injury. As long as he's healthy, as long as he's out there, that should be good to go. That should be good. Meanwhile, for the Packers, not as heavy on the injury report, but still some things to take note of. The rookie linebacker Edwin Cooper, who had been playing very well in the front seven, sustained a hamstring injury in Wednesday's practice. So that could be a little bit of a hit to that Packers defense. What could also be a big hit for the Packers defense is corner Jair Alexander. He could miss this game with what he told reporters was a torn PCL he aggravated in the Bears game. However, he could come with a little bit of a caveat though. If Jair can go, then his replacement, Carrington Valentine, his backup, he'll be his replacement. But I feel like he's when you've seen a little bit of his highlights, he's actually done pretty solid. So it won't be as bad. Sure, he can't replace the production of Jair, but I think he'll be okay when it comes to facing that 49ers offense. Meanwhile, Josh Jacobs was also added to the injury report with a calf injury, but I feel like he should be okay, barring any setbacks. So looking at the keys to victory for both of these teams, if the Niners want to have any chance in this game at all, to try and not make it as much of a smashing in Lambeau, well, the first thing you got to do is force Jordan Love into repeated mistakes. Now, this is easier said than done, especially with the possibility of not having Nick Bosa in the front four. But let's look back at the fact that he's thrown a pick, Jordan Love that is, in every game this season. And if the 49ers depleted front four that doesn't have Javon Hargrave already and might possibly not have Nick Bosa out there, if you can somehow force Jordan Love into whether it's a fumble or continue that streak of an interception thrown in every game, you can expect that to continue. Jordan Love making mistake after mistake after mistake. And then offensively, I would like to see more involvement in the receiving game, notably Deebo Samuel and Ricky Pearsall. Now, I get the struggles of the receiving game, notably from Ricky P, because he's still trying to acclimate himself in the NFL. But Deebo Samuel, we need him to show up. He's been pretty invisible for weeks now. Now, when I do expect them to show up, when they do get involved, you gotta get them positive games. Get some separation from defenders, and just do anything, man. Do anything. Not the wide back stuff that we've seen already, because teams have caught on to that. No, get some good yaks. Get some good yards after catch, and all that good stuff. And then look at the running game. Christian McCaffrey has been playing good, and he's been playing very solid, but it's clear that he's still not 100%. Kyle Shanahan's been using him as if he's still 100%, letting him bulldoze all over defenses, but he's still not healthy. So Kyle Shanahan, if you need to use a 3-headed backfield, then do it. It's not a completely bad idea to mix in Jordan Mason and Isaac Grendo. Why are they not out there as much? It's clear that McCaffrey's not healthy. It's not a terrible idea to mix back in Jordan Mason and Grendo to ease off of McCaffrey. Take that pressure off of him. Not the worst idea in the world, Meanwhile, for the Packers, make whoever who is going to play at quarterback on the Niners side of things, make them commit unforced mistakes, whether it's an injured Brock Purdy, a bad Brandon Allen, or a you don't know what to expect Josh Dobbs. This is a game for the Packers defense to really pick apart that Niners offense, to really dismantle that quarterback spot. You want to get them to force turnovers, fumbles, really shut down that 49ers offense. Meanwhile, for the Packers own offense, this is also a good opportunity to really pound the rock, really attack that really weak run defense that could even be weaker without Nick Bosa. So pound the rock with Josh Jacobs. And then staying with the Packers offense, Jordan Love, this is probably his best opportunity to snap that streak. Get rid of that narrative to snap that streak of every game has an interception from Jordan Love. Now, he won't have as much pressure in his face because that depleted 49ers front, but it's not going to probably not going to matter as much if he lets that get to him or he holds onto the ball too long to the point where they're going to get to him. That not as much pressure gets to him. So Jordan Love, he needs to use that little acronym or use those 5-letter word that Aaron Rodgers used to say back in the day when he was in Green Bay. RELAX. Relax. So if he does that, then the Packers will win this game. So I don't have too many expectations for this game because of how beat up the Niners are and the uncertainty of the quarterback position. Like, is Brock Purdy going to play? Just how healthy is he? Because considering that we don't know how the quarterback spot is going to be, like how sore is his shoulder, like what's the status on that? Well, Friday's practice is going to be telling. And if he doesn't play in this game, if he's ruled out, then who's going to be the starting quarterback? It's going to be really interesting how this turns out. And, well, either way, my hopes are not high for this game. And I don't know if yours should be too. Let's just leave it at that. So Sunday's game, the season's on the line, but considering the recent developments, yeah, it's looking real low. It's looking real low that the season will be saved. But hey, crazier things have happened here. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on your predictions for what's going to happen this Sunday. That's the 49ers take on the Packers at the start of this 2-game road stretch for San Francisco to try and save their season, to try and keep their hopes up in this NFC West race with whatever hopes they got left. And yeah, let's see if they try to avoid a smashing in Lambeau. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, your predictions, and if there's any updates to the Brock Purdy injury, I might drop a pin comment on it. But anyway, until we talk about it again, until we drop our review on the game, keep the lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until I see you, when I see you in the next one, peace out.